Hi, Alan Stratton from Woodturning. Recently, my friend and mentor Frank Young, who you've also seen as a guest turner on this channel, did a demonstration of a toothpick holder. Now, you may not think that's so special, but until you pull it out, and then you can grab a toothpick easily from there. So I think that action is pretty neat. With his blessing, I've decided to demo it on this channel, or could have had him do it, but here we go. But it turns out that my tooling is a little bit different than his. He has a deep drill Forstner bit. I didn't, so I had to adapt it. Went through a couple of iterations on how to do that, finally settled on the one that you will see here. In any case, here it is, a very nice toothpick holder out of Apricot. So let's turn it.
To understand the internal items and measures, I drew the toothpick holder in SketchUp, but an outside view did not do much for me. So I sliced it in half to get a more useful view. I did not attempt to draw the outer profile, as that is difficult in the software. I will do my own thing once I get to the lathe. A caveat, I have to respect the inner dimensions. The most critical dimension is the distance from the top of the tray bottom to the bottom of the lid. I measured a toothpick at 2.5 inches. I think 2.75 to 3 inches will be sufficient. Then I spread out the components on the wood blank. I am starting with a 6 by 3 inch piece of apricot roughed to a cylinder. As is the case with most spindle projects, I need tenons on both ends of the cylinder. My skew does a great job with a peeling cut. Then, with the cylinder mounted into the chuck, it is time to drill the center hole. This is a large hole, and this is very dry, hard wood. I'm drilling in 3 stages, starting with a smaller Forstner bit, moving to a larger bit, and finishing with another bit at the target size. This way, the larger bits do not get bogged down with the center wood and the slow relative speed of the wood near the center. Then mark my target depth, enough for the cover, the bottom of the tray, a toothpick, and some spare. Then part off the wood with a parting tool. The wood left in the chuck will serve for the tray and the cover. Each of these pieces need a 1/4 inch hole. This time, since a 1/4 inch bit is so flexible, I'm starting with a stout, stubby center bit. This is not likely to flex and deviate with the wood grain. With the wood started, I follow up with the standard 1/4 inch bit. Whoops, I almost forgot to cut a new tenon. It will only take a minute and save a lot of angst later on. Then mark for the tray depth and part off this piece for the pick tray. With just a little more wood in the chuck, what next? What else? Cut a tenon. Then mark and part off the next piece. This will become the top of the center toothpick lift. Now back to the main body that is only half drilled. Mount again in the chuck, clean it off, and drill again. This time I started with the stubby center bit, then on with the larger and larger bits. But wait, there's one more. This time a 1 3/4 inch bit, but only 3/16 of an inch deep, and take a moment to sand out the interior. I have remounted the last piece back into the chuck. This will serve as the bottom with the tenon to fit the center hole. I start on the wood lathe, but I can be more precise with much less risk of overcutting if I move the wood, chuck, and all over to the metal lathe. With its ability to cut straight lines and guidance from the digital readout, I nail it. Back on the wood lathe, it is a simple matter to apply some wood glue to the joint and tenon, align the grain, and press it together. After about 5 minutes, I take it inside for me to warm up and the glue to set. I'm back out in the cold shop. It is time to work on the pick tray. It needs a 1 1/4 inch hole, leaving a little more than 1/8 inch thickness at the bottom. Then, bringing up the live center for support, reduce the outer diameter to fit inside the body. After fitting a jamb faceplate to the interior and with live center support, I peel off the remaining flange where the old mounting tenon was. The cover or lid now needs some work. I probably cut this piece a little too thin. A little more wood would have made this task easier. So I'm back at the metal lathe for precise cuts to reduce the diameter while keeping the mounting tenon intact. A thicker piece would have made this easier. I make it to fit inside the 1 3/4 inch shallow hole in the top of the body. A miracle! It survived. No tool hit the chuck, and it fits. However, there is still leftover wood where the mounting tenon was. This time I have pressed the wood against the jamb faceplate I used earlier with pressure from a cone center. Not much beneficial friction here, so I have to go very slowly. Finally, it is time to do the wood turning that every project should be 100% of. That is, turning the final form. The body mounts to the chuck using the tenon that was cut back before the pieces were glued together. The top cover or lid is pressed into its opening with one layer of paper towel to tighten the joint. In the end, I do not want this joint to be snug, so it is a loose fit, but for now I need it tight. The paper towel will provide temporary tightness. A cone center provides security. I start at the top, targeting a shallow round. Then start working the side. I measure to ensure that I keep the outside bigger than the inside. Since I know that the inside is 1 1/2 inches, this works out just fine. I finally decide on triple beads at the top edge with a smaller width and smaller height as I work down. Then a final half bead at the bottom. The top of this bead is at the joint at the base. I have to recognize that I still need to reduce the bottom. That is coming up shortly. For the bottom, I turned down my jamb faceplate for a tight fit to the interior. The live center provides security while I cut back the bottom. I have plenty of wood since there is a tenon on the opposite side. It is tight quarters for my skew, used as a scraper. Finally, I cut away the last bit of the nub and lose live center support. So now I have to be very gentle with the last sections. After sanding, I apply the last bit of shellac. Remaining tasks are to turn a knob and glue a dowel between the knob and the tray at the bottom. My toothpick holder is finished. I thank Frank for the design and motivation, although I had to adapt it to my tools available. It can now join with volcano salt and pepper shakers on the dining room table. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe on my website, and tell your friends about my videos. I appreciate your comments and questions. Every week I add a new woodturning video to my website. Always, please wear your full face shield. Anytime the lathe is running, it could save your life.